Hi. Hi, everyone. Hi, we're going to start our community gathering here. And I promise, well, okay, I can't promise. I will try very hard to make it no longer than half an hour. We have a lot to cover. And we also want you to be able to go on with your afternoon. Those on the patio who would like to join us for our community gathering, I'd really appreciate if you would come on in. No. Yeah, please. Happy to have you. Hi, everyone on the patio. If you would join us for our community gathering, that would be wonderful. Any board members who are outside, come on in. We are going to be streaming our community gathering today. Hi, everyone. Okay. Hi. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Oh, Bobby just did. Okay. Is this one on? Hi. Can you hear me now? Yes. Great. I hope more people will join us here in a few minutes. In the meantime, I'd love to get started, and we're going to start with Kristen with prayer, as always.
I think I still have my mic, yeah. All right. Prayer for the people on the patio. I know it's so beautiful out, right? Maybe we should take our meeting outside. All right, let's take a moment to allow ourselves to be here now, to be in this space, to enjoy the sounds of connection, and to feel our connection to Spirit in this room, in this community. Thank you, God, for our abundance in every way, for a community that is continuing to grow together, to thrive together. Thank you for supplying our every need. We trust that as we move forth, that we build together a very strong foundation so that we may truly be love in action in the world, love in action in our community. That each member of this community may feel cared for, may feel a sense of kinship and support for their spiritual journey. And that there is a great cause for celebration as we continue in our aligned walk with the truth of who we are. Thank you, God, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Kristen. The first thing I want to talk about is in our bulletin is an invitation to get instructions on how to get your annual giving statement, which you can actually get any time during the year. And I just want to make sure you know that to do this, you need to be signed up on Unity Connects. And if you're not signed up on Unity Connects, it's very easy. Hopefully, there we go. On our website, unityofwalnutcreek.com, there is a button for sign up. And once you push that, you'll go to this screen. And you simply enter, your first and last name and your email and your mobile phone or any phone really, and click submit, and then you will get an email after that to finish the sign-up process. So then to get your giving statement, they're on the patio, correct? The instructions are on the patio. You can get those and follow them. And if you don't have an email address or otherwise need your giving statement in a different way, then you can contact the office for that. Anything to add, Felicia? No? Great, thank you. And the other great thing about Unity Connects that you can do on Unity Connects, besides get your giving statement, there was something else I wanted to tell you about. What was it? Oh, thank you. Board minutes. The board minutes are published on the on Unity Connects. Every person who signs up for Unity Connects gets put into the Unity of Walnut Creek group, and the minutes are published in that group so that you can see them as soon as they're approved and posted. They're usually a month behind because they're approved at the following month's meeting, but then if you want information before then, you can ask me. And by the way, I should introduce myself. I'm Lisa Nichols, and I am president of the board at this year. And I would like to ask the current board members who are here to come up on board, so I can up on stage, so I can introduce them to you as well. It does look like we're missing Dimitri. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dimitri's the only one missing. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves.
Let's just step to the left a little so my back's not to people. Thank you. I'm Kristen Powell, and I also get the great pleasure of serving as minister here.
Tricia Linden, and I serve on the board as your treasurer.
Chris Gomes, member at large.
Susan Angelos, member at large.
Diana Mezitz, vice president.
Bobby Bader, member at large.
Scott Babcock, member at large.
Sandy Foreman, secretary.
And I'd also like to introduce Carl Jansen, who has just joined us as advisor. So do you guys want to stay up here this whole time, or no? Great. Well, Tricia, I do need you, though. The first thing we wanted to go through are our finances, and we have a slide for you. The first one is 2017, just to kind of wrap up last year, and then year-to-date 2018.
I can't see that as well as I'd like to. Okay, so is this 2017? Okay, so as we see, we ended the year short by $12,819, which that meant that we were drawing on reserves. And as I've mentioned in other meetings, what we are hoping to focus on this year, along with some other items, is building that reserve pocket back up. In years past, Unity of Walnut Creek has enjoyed about a $20,000 to $30,000 reserve pocket, and that pocket, thankfully, is what's allowed us to survive through this year or so of a shortfall in our income over expenses. I can assure you that the Unity Center does everything it can to keep our expenses minimized. John Rexroad, our bookkeeper, does an excellent job of overseeing any expenditures that we can do better on. So we have a very conscientious team in that regards. But even with, in the transition years, this is not extremely unusual, but this is our focus, is that we know we are a community of abundance, and we're looking forward to bringing that reserve up. So that's that first lines up there that tells you that. And then the other items, if you want to just peruse them, are things like how many people do actually attend, and what's the average giving per person, our monthly average income versus what we budgeted. So that's that $44,400. That's our average income, as opposed to the $50,000 that we've budgeted. Now, we didn't spend everything that we budgeted for expenses either, so just let you know, but that's kind of where we shoot for as far as the income. And if we had met that, we wouldn't have had the shortfall, because again, we would be within budget. We have shown you what our assets are, what is in our brokerage accounts, and what we have is we call liquid assets. So that doesn't include the building or even the bookstore inventory, hopefully. It's just including what, if we had to make payments out of cash, we could access. Yes, Garrett, did you have a question?
Yeah, I'm looking at the net income. We lost $12,000 last year, okay. But for some reason, the brokerage account went down by $35,000. Was there a capital expenditure?
That's how we pulled the money out for our reserves. Was from a lot of it was from the the brokerage account, and that also we used the money for our lift, if you recall. So that was we've kind of still have money. We have money parked there, and we have money parked in our operating account because, of course, we want to have that cushion to avoid overdrafts and having issues with our checks not being available to who they're being paid to. So we don't draw our operating account down to zero or below. So we did draw on our brokerage account to, again, that $12,000 shortfall was part of that, and the lift. Okay, thank you for that question. Anybody else? Yes?
Why are there no treasurer reports published with the minutes from the board meetings?
They're handed in. They should be published every month with the board meeting.
I was unable to locate them in any of the minutes from last year.
We apologize for that. We're a little behind on that, but we'll get it caught up in the next couple weeks.
Parlaying into our next question is, when was the withdrawal from the Schwab accounts, and who, you know, was it communicated to the community that we were in such dire straits that we had to access our reserves?
So it was done throughout the year, as we were doing, work was going forward on the lift. At our community meetings, we have presented our finances throughout the year. We did it in November when we had our annual meeting, and we've had some other gatherings where we've presented our information. So we have tried to keep the information available to the community in our efforts to be transparent. So thank you for the question. Also, there have been times when it's been noted in our bulletin in one location or another, in keeping with the idea that it may not have been available in the minutes. So we do try to keep you informed. And anytime you have a personal question, certainly reach out to anybody on the board, myself or John. We'll be happy to provide that information for you. Okay, anybody else? Okay. Oh, yes, thank you. Okay.
I just walked in, but I'm curious about the rest of the financial statements, like the balance sheet and the income statement and all the details of the items. This information is very summarizes, I presume. What do you think?
So are you talking about the financial reports in detail?
Yeah, more detail. I would appreciate more than this.
And how exactly all the accounting?
Well, you know how a balance sheet is set up. You know, the assets and the liabilities and the net worth. And what kind of accounting system are we on here?
Well, we're on a cash accounting, but we do have those reports. They are presented monthly to the board, so those are available. If you want to come to the board meeting at any time, we'd be happy to discuss that with you in detail. Yes, yeah, or ask anybody for that access to that. Okay.
All righty.
Thank you. Yes.
It's from December. That would be an option too, to have the whole year's detailed. You know.
Right. So did you want last year's statement, at the end of the year statement?
I was curious, what was the net income for 2016?
I'm sorry, I don't have that at my fingertips to avoid.
Was it less or more?
I wasn't the treasurer, and I don't have that information available. I don't know it, to be honest.
The net income at the end of 2016 was positive by about $1,000, I think. John's probably looking it up now. He always, nope, he doesn't have his computer with him. But I think we were just barely positive, which we're a nonprofit, so we did pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Thank you. Yes? The lift is still a work in progress. We have Dimitri, again, he's on the board. He's not here right now, but he's been working on all the details of getting the permits and getting it installed correctly so it's functioning correctly according to ACH standards. Okay? ACA, okay? Okay, and then, do we have a slide for the beginning of this year? Okay, so this is just, again, the kind of a wrap-up of where we're at. Here we are at the end of February, and we're showing our net income is short by $16,700. As you can see also the next column, the row 9,078, that would have been what we expected. So we do start off the year with an understanding that what we receive and what we pay out, there's going to be budgeted shortfall. But this year we are, again, and this is consistent with what we've seen last year, we're a little bit short of what we need to keep our center running at a very balanced situation. So we're trying to go with that. And again, you can see the variance from the budget to the actual, and again, the full budget for the year, which if we did the full budget for the year, we would just, as we say, we're a nonprofit, so that would be a net $400, that we would have at the end of the year. And again, that would not include adding to our reserves. That would just be, again, the income versus our expected expenses to keep the Unity Center of Walnut Creek functioning in the manner in which we expected. Okay, and again, the summary down there of some of our weekly attendance, the giving per person, our monthly average income, and what is budgeted. And again, so far we've been receiving $36,397 in that average monthly income, but our budget is for about $45,600. So hopefully, and this is again, I'm going to just let you know, this is after the crab feed has been put into our income. So this is after the crab feed, the fundraiser, yeah. So we made about $6,000 on the crab feed net. That's not a bad income, but we've made more in years past. And then our weekly love offerings did diminish for the month of February slightly compared to just the month before. So it went from like 18 to 15,000 in the weekly love offerings, and that includes Sunday and everything we receive throughout the week and various donations. Okay, so up for the crab feed, a little bit down for the Sunday love or the weekly love offerings. And again, we're just reiterating what our cash assets are there. Okay. So that's yes.
The $21 figure for giving per person, the average from just the services, or does it include classes and other workshops and things?
It does not include the classes. That is when a donation just comes in either in our Sundays or somebody might send us donations throughout the week, but it doesn't. It excludes classes, room rental. Those all go into another separate account. Okay. Okay. Well, again, if you can have questions that come up throughout the time, and we're happy. We do want to be transparent in our finances, and so if they have questions, we're happy to let you know what the answers are. Okay.
Thank you, Tricia. Thank you. So still speaking of finances, I brought back the Be the Change jar, which we used for raising funds for the lift last year. And in this case, this is to try to start putting money towards our reserves, towards rebuilding our reserves. It's a way to just throw in your loose change or your loose unwanted dollar bills or $100 bills, whatever you want to throw in there. It's out on the patio. Hopefully it'll be out there every Sunday. So it's hopefully a way to rebuild our reserves without major financial impacts to our congregation at the same time. And then secondly, if you remember from, I don't know when I did this, a couple months ago, I came up and I did a Love in Action appeal. And our goal for 2018 is to have pledges that will equal $90,000 a year for the Love in Action campaign. And Love in Action started 10 years ago, almost 11 now, to rebuild our sanctuary and our education building back there. And it was very successful. It did mean that we ended up with a mortgage. And our mortgage payment every month is about $74.59 and 26 cents, or what, John always knows those numbers off the top of his head. So what we're hoping to do is that each of you will commit to a certain amount each month, and it can be any amount, $10 a month, $50 a month, $200 a month, that would go directly towards Love in Action, towards that mortgage payment. And if we had met our goal for this Love in Action, then we would definitely have at the end of the year, we would not have a shortfall. We would be able to pay all of our expenses, and I think even start paying towards that reserves, adding some to our reserves. So if you haven't pledged for Love in Action yet, I'm asking you to use the card here. You can also do it online. And just let us know how much you would like to give, which would be over and above your Sunday love offerings or other commitments, other tithes or whatever you already give, of just some amount towards Love in Action. That would be really appreciated and would really help us out through the end of the year. Let's see. Oh, Bobby, I meant to ask you, do you want to talk about the endowment program or do you want to wait? Okay. Information coming about that. Kathy.
If we pledged something last year on that, does that carry through, or do we need to do that again?
Was it a monthly gift? Mm-hmm. Oh, then that would just keep going.
Okay.
As long as, yeah. So, and thank you. Thank you for everyone who has pledged already. Thank you very much. So, facilities. Is Charlene here? Hi, Charlene. So there are still 3 goals that we have had for a number of time, and we're waiting for the right financial time to be able to do them. One is to replace our sign out front. It has some dry rot and other things. Another one is repaving our parking lot. The parking lot has gotten into some bad condition. And a third is to enhance the patio experience. For example, putting out sailcloths to give a covering or something. We haven't designed it yet, but something. And so those, again, we're still hoping to do those at some point, but we still need to wait until we have our finances to the point where we can do those and other enhancements around here. Charlene, is there anything else you'd like to talk about in terms of facilities? Oh, please tell.
That's different. Well, we had a bell before we remodeled, and I hope to get that going. And Dimitri really wants to really get on with the sign once he has some time. He wants to give his full attention to that, so see how that's going to go, where it's going to go, and what have you.
Great. Thank you. Any questions, facilities? Anything? Okay. Oh, yes, and there is an immediate need that we have, which is to correct some leaks that go down into the downstairs office. And so if you're outside and you see some boards pulled apart, that's part of that, trying to fix the leak that's been there for 100 years, Charlene says. But hopefully we'll come upon a permanent solution to that. Okay. Okay, so now I'd like to introduce Susan and Carl. I know I didn't tell you, Carl, but they're going to give an update on Community Action Committee. There you go. Okay, good.
Okay, so ever since I came to Unity, most of you have heard me say it, that many hands, willing hearts, great need. People are kind of bored of hearing community action has been my passion since I got here. And I have teamed up with a worthy partner in this whole thing, and we're trying to come up with a way for the willing hearts and the giving hands in Unity to be able to take organized action. So one of the things that we want to do is to figure out what the congregation is passionate about. What I've heard may or may not be what our primary focus was going to be. So we are creating a questionnaire that will be coming out relatively soon for you to tell us what you want. What are you interested in? Some of the things that we've heard about are things like sustainability. Should we have a seminar on how we can all contribute to a more sustainable living? I am going to be meeting in terms of recycling with, and probably Carl too, with Representative Mark DeSaulnier in the next month or two to see how we can do this Contra Costa wide. How can we help? Can we do something about that? We're planning a brush and stream cleanup, maybe a beach cleanup. We're going to partner with Lindsay Wildlife to see what we can do about being a little gentler to our local wildlife. Some people are interested in the hunger and nutrition area, or the lack of nutrition in our area here, and really worldwide. Literacy. We want to partner with our local community in terms of the Monument Crisis Center. With COPE, which is a project that reaches out to homeless people. It's sponsored by the county, but they actually go where the homeless people are and help them with warm clothing, or are you sick, let us find you a facility. I met them just recently when our Threads of Grace group had some warm clothing to give, and I brought it over there. This is an amazing place that's run by a small group of volunteers. I would love to be able to help them. They don't have a lot of visibility. Some of the things that we are doing, Lisa's organizing some information for us for Earth Day. We'll be doing a presentation with that. The theme for Earth Day this year is preventing plastic pollution. So you can recycle more than just your water bottles if you're still using plastic water bottles. We're also organizing a blood drive, which will probably be happening later on. We were going to do it last year, but the Red Cross had so many disasters going on at one time, they couldn't find enough people to actually man the bloodmobile. So we waited, and I've just recently heard from them again, so we're setting it up to a time when it probably, like I say, probably late summer, early fall. Mostly, though, what we want to do is to figure out what you want. You can talk to Carl. You can talk to me. Really, anybody on the board who will pass that information on. If there's something that's passionate about, that you are passionate about, you can bet that there are people in this community who are passionate about it too. And what we found out in our Hope groups is that a small number of people with a goal can make a huge difference. And so that's what we're trying to do. So let us know what you want. We'll give you, and by the way, if you do not have access to the weekly email that is sent out the Centerpoint Weekly, send an email to weekly@unitycenter.net, and we'll be sure and get that, or contact the office, and we'll be sure and make sure that you have that communication tool. And you can sign up on the website. Can you sign up for? Oh, okay. There you go. Just learned something. In the footer, you can also sign up for the weekly Centerpoint on Unity Connects. No? UnityofWalnutCreek.net. .com. I didn't know it until today. I'm winging it. That's right.
Oh, yes.
If you have any questions about community action, talk to us.
Yes, thank you, Susan. Way to stand there, Carl. Good job standing there. You're very good at it. Yeah. Yes, quite literally stands behind her. So yes, you can sign up for the weekly email newsletter on unityofwalnutcreek.com in the footer. Let's see. Did you want to talk about the service time change? Great.
I hope everybody saw the survey that was in your bulletin today. Anybody not get one that would like one? This is about the survey, the service times. Okay, here you go. There might be some more blanks in the back. Yeah, Scott's got some more blanks there. So if you'll fill that out for us today, we'll leave the basket out and go ahead and leave your completed one. But on the front side, we're asking you which service times you prefer. We've had some congregational meetings on this in November and then just recently in February to get people's input. We, of course, received connection cards since we combined the 8 o'clock and what was 9:30 service into a 9 o'clock contemplative service. So the style, we're still planning on continuing with the contemplative and the celebratory, but if you have comments on that, we welcome that too. What we're looking for now, because we've gotten a lot of feedback from people on connection cards, we had specifically about 8 connection cards, that we're asking for the services to be closer together so that there's more overlap between the 2 groups and there's more connection and fellowship time. So you'll see some things noted on that survey from the meetings too, comments that people made for preferences of times and so on. So now we want to know from each of you what your preferred time would be. So you can see that some of the there's 4 options there. 2 of the options have 45 minutes between the services, and 2 of the options have 1 hour between the services. So there's also on the flip side some room for some other feedback that we're asking for in general. So if you would take the time to fill those out, that'd be really, really helpful to us. So thank you. And then we'll stay tuned. We'll let you know how it unfolds from there.
Thank you, Kristen. So now it's just an open Q&A. What do you guys have questions about, or comments or suggestions? Don't all speak up at once. Everyone loves you too, Mario. You need everyone's prayer.
He needs everyone prayers on his wonderful plan to walk around the world.
Wow. Wonderful, Mario. Wonderful. You are made of love. Yes. We want everyone in the world to be in love, and he asks for your prayers to support him, to open their minds and their hearts to this. Keep us informed, Mario, of your plans. Keep us informed of your plans. That would be wonderful. Okay, good, good. Yeah. Any other questions, comments? You all are welcome to join us at our monthly board meetings. It's the 4th Wednesday of every month, except this year, October and November. And we hold them up in the room 3 in the education building, so they're upstairs. We start with a light meal at 6:30, provided by our wonderful chef, Diana. And then we start the meeting at 7. They usually go until about 10, but you don't have to stay that whole time if you don't want to. But you can. You're more than welcome to stick it out with us. So anything else for today? Otherwise, we'll close our gathering. Great. Okay. Do we want to do a closing prayer? Bobby is our no? Not today.
I think I'm still on, yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it. Know that it's a beautiful day, and it's a commitment to your community to be here and to stay informed. So thank you. So let's just take, and yes, thank you, AV team, for staying, for streaming, for providing sound. We call upon this team so much, and they're always there for us. So really, really appreciate you guys and gals, but there aren't any women up there at the moment. So let's just allow ourselves to give thanks and great gratitude for this day, for our community, and knowing that where we see shortfalls, let's not fall into limitation, but to know the truth that we are a mighty, abundant community, that we are calling in new people who understand that kind of prosperity consciousness, and that each of us are raising up our prosperity consciousness to care for our home, not only our physical home, but a space in which all the different ministries are launched from this place, all the ways that people are inspired connect with the truth of who they are reminded that they're not alone. All the ways that we minister unto others in this community and beyond. We thank you, God, and we know that the streams of financial well-being are available to us, and we claim them now. And so it is. Amen.